I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass the Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Horror Movie Night. This week, Scott has us talking about The Last Shift from 2014, 2015. I keep seeing contradictory release dates on this one, but I have not seen this since it dropped on Netflix, like in 2015, 2016.
It was my second watch, and the first watch was right when it came out, too. Kyle, was this your first?
First
Yeah.
watch.
Hell yeah.
Which is weird. This is like right around the time that I would be seeing these things.
Yeah.
You know, like I had just moved to LA. You know, I'm sure it played Beyond Fest or some other thing around the area that I was going to. I actually think the director, Anthony DeBlasi, would come into Jump Cut Cafe sometimes. I recognized his face after seeing a picture of him, and so I don't know. I should have seen it at that time, and I didn't. And I'm actually very glad to have seen it now. You know, with this sort of 10-year set of glasses on, and to really think about, also kind of revisit independent horror 10 years ago, and like really approach it that way. That was fun.
I will say that when I watched it way back then, I thought that was good. Like, I didn't really think about it beyond like that was good. Rewatching it for this, I was like, this movie must have left a bigger impression on me than I realized, because I remembered so many beats. And I actually walked away being like, this is a really solid movie. So I'm going to also say, Scott, thanks for giving me an excuse to revisit this one.
This is the only time we're going to give praise to a cop movie.
I think part of it is that, not that much gunfire because it's just a cop alone in a situation. And B, like, and this is going to be if I had a problem with the movie, and I think this may have even been my problem back then, what bums me out is, like, in a world of shitty, corrupt cops, this character actually seems like a somewhat solid person. So I'm like, you know what? I don't like seeing what seems to be a genuinely good person who might actually be the type of cop we need in this world being the one that gets fucked with and ultimately killed. Don't love that. That bums me out. But otherwise, I think this is a really fun movie.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting to hear your two reactions to this movie, because my reaction is slightly different, where this left a huge impression on me the first time I saw it, and then watching it this time, I was kind of like, a little disappointed. I mean, it's still a really good movie. Like, I think that I just think that maybe I was just in a better mindset the first time, because I felt like the pacing was a little bit better the first time I watched it. Maybe it's also because there was more mystery, because I knew what was happening this time. I don't know. I feel like a lot of psychological horror movies do that to me, but I still think it's a really, really good movie, and I think that it deserves more attention.
It does. Yeah. It also does a lot with a little, which is something that you love to see in this era of indie horror. And I was explaining
almost no CGI almost.
Yeah, almost none of that. And I was talking to Matt Milligan about it because he's a big horror buff. And I said, like, what I like about it is that it's like earned atmospheric scares.
Mm-hmm,
specifically at a time where it was so jump scare heavy. Like this one, it's like, no, this is like atmospheric scares more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, and I feel like I do feel like when they did use the jump scare, they really worked for it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It was
like,
earned
there was a
by
lot
the time
of,
it was there.
Yeah. Oh, there. I mean, we'll get to it, but that flashlight scene in the holding cell, like
so
we're
good.
playing this game of hot potato, right? Like both literally and for the viewer, like, we're waiting for that to happen, and it took like double time for it to go down, and I felt myself like tensing at my screen waiting for that to happen. It was great
because it utilizes, there's this element. All right, we're going to get into like a very weird piece of film history here. Alfred Hitchcock, right?
Heard of him?
Alfred Hitchcock. I think people get frustrated when people lump Alfred Hitchcock into horror because, on the grand scheme of things, outside of Psycho and a handful of other movies, he is way more of like a thriller director or a political drama director. But he has that famous quote about like building tension is showing the bomb underneath the table and showing the people sitting at the table not knowing that there's a bomb underneath them. And effective horror makers know how to utilize that really, really well. And I think that this movie is a prime example of like exactly what you're talking. It's the same reason why when we did Exorcist 3 and we talk about that hallway scene, like, it plays with your knowledge of horror enough that you're sitting there going, I've seen enough movies. I know that something is going to happen, but you don't know what. And it prolongs that tension so much that the scare is more in how you're anticipating a scare than the actual scare.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I feel like this leaned into that quite a few times effectively. It was good. It was really fun.
No, I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed the watch, because I feel like I'm back on my game with I think this was actually an 87-minute movie.
It was easy and breezy, baby. Easy, breezy, beautiful.
Yeah, so why am I even complaining about the pacing? What a baby.
All right, well,
you're
Scott,
like, I wish it could be longer and maybe 2.5 hours.
Yeah. More gunshots.
You.
It needed more gunshots.
There were fewer for a movie that is based around a cop with a gun in a police station.
Very reserved with it.
I mean, I don't think that there's even a full clip worth of gunshots in this movie.
No.
Which is again why she's a good cop. She's in a high stress situation and she doesn't just unload immediately.
Yeah. So I'll get into the plot, and I mean, I think that this is kind of you guys add stuff where you think is needed, but I feel like a lot of this is the cat and mouse of like a psychological horror movie. So I might hit and might miss some of the beats, but let me know. So we have Jessica, the main character. She's Officer Lauren. It's her first night on the job, and she is ordered to take the titular last shift at a police station that is going to be closed in the morning. They had moved the police station to a new location down the street, and they had routed all the 911 calls to the new location. So literally, she's just supposed to be there for this last 8 hours or whatever overnight until this hazmat team is going to arrive and they're going to clean up the evidence room that's left over, that hasn't been disposed of because it needed hazmat, like so blood and urine and other bodily fluids on clothing. So
Yes.
she's alone. It's very cool because it's a this could be done as a stage play.
Yeah.
Whoa,
It's
yeah.
very there's 2 or 3 different double features that all come to mind on how this is almost like a black box theater performance.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it really works well with not being as confined as a single room, but it is a single location. And I'm sorry in advance, but the director / co-writer Anthony DiBlasi said that Assault on Precinct 13 was like his number one influence in writing this.
Fuck yeah.
Which I've never seen. Should I see that movie?
I've also never seen it. It's not my cup of
Well,
tea, but it is a Carpenter.
Yeah.
So
it's can I derail just for briefly
Yeah,
go ahead.
to
Let me
answer
know.
that thought? So Assault on Precinct 13, yeah, it is cop heavy, but it's also a siege movie about people trying to attack the police station, and I think that its amount of tension is fantastic, and I think that it's such a good precursor to Carpenter's horror stuff, where there is something coming after something else, right? Like there is like this dread-induced thing that you are stuck having to face, and like it's really, really fantastic. It is gun heavy. Like there's a big 1 or 2 big shootouts, if I remember correctly, but the tension is lovely, and it's all, the anamorphic lenses. It all looks fucking great too. So anyway.
All right.
And I can see where this parallels. I can see the
Right.
what this does for it.
yeah, I should mention that when Officer Lauren, we're going to call her Officer Lauren and not Jessica because she goes by Officer Lauren throughout the entirety of the movie. She comes in and the commanding officer, Sergeant Cohen, is it Sergeant? I don't know
Sounds
my
right.
Yeah,
cop
Sergeant.
jargon. He is acting a little weird, and then he walks her around and explains, like, you just have to be here until the hazmat team gets here. He's like, don't bug me tonight. He's just like, this should be easy. So she sits down and she almost falls asleep, and then like wakes up because of some knocking. She does not see anybody at the door. Turns around. I mean, she goes out because she like opens the door, and she turns around and there's a homeless man taking a piss in the front lobby. So she kicks him out, cleans the floor. She goes and oh, I'm sorry. I was about to say she was about to have dinner, her midnight dinner with a hair in it, which is disgusting. But she does also start to get these distress calls from a young girl named Monica, who is saying that she is being pursued by or has been taken hostage by a cult on a ranch, and she keeps hanging up before Officer Lauren can get enough information to truly figure out who she is, where she is, what's going on. She calls the actual police station and said, hey, I got this call. Why isn't it being forwarded? And they said all 911 calls should be forwarded to our new location. I don't know why it's coming to you.
Yeah, they said they must be calling you directly if you're getting those calls.
Yes, exactly. And she later asks Monica on the phone, she's like, why don't you call 911? She's like, redial is the only thing that's working for me. So that is the explanation of why she keeps getting these calls. She hears strange noises, and she sees that the rear door is open. She finds that same homeless man rummaging through some storage, like some paper storage. She cuffs him. She puts him in holding, and then she gets locked in, and lights go out. And this is where we're talking about the flashlight hot potato. So she has the flashlight, and then she does not have the flashlight, and she thinks that the homeless man has it. And then the flashlight pans over, and the homeless man is like passed out, or he's unconscious on the floor, and you're like, oh shit, who's actually holding it? You see a bloody face, and then she's let out of the door. She is seeing things moving. She's seeing crime scene pictures. You find out that from Officer Price, who walks in to check on her and flirt with her a little bit, that he was with her dad, also Officer Lauren, on the night that they brought in the Paimon cult leaders. There were 3 of them, and they had been sacrificing teenage girls at their ranch.
The report that everybody ever got was that they died at the site
at the
of
ranch.
the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And instead, what Officer Price says is that they were brought to, well, a prostitute, or a supposed prostitute, I guess, explains something about how she was in the cells that night when they were brought in. They were not dead they were not DOA. They were brought in and interrogated, and then they all hung themselves in their cells with their bed sheets. So we then find out that Jessica Lauren's dad was murdered that night by the cult, and that Officer Price survived and brought them back in. So you find out a little bit more of the story, and you are getting more information about Monica as she's calling, and I think that you kind of begin to understand that she is one of the victims. She's kind of stuck in a loop, that she's already dead. Somebody from the police station calls and explains to Officer Lauren that Monica, whatever her last name was one of the victims of the Paimon cult, who were very Manson-esque. Then they explain that the cult worships Paimon, one of the gods of hell, one of the kings of hell, and that they are kind of haunting this location, and that is why they're closing down the space, because like weird shit has happened this entire time. You see through crime scene photographs that show up to Officer Lauren. She sees her murdered father. She sees murdered girls. She sees Officer Price murdered. So he was a ghost that came to visit her as well. Finally, she is being attacked by, she's getting like the assault on the police station from these apparitions. She's shooting them with her gun, and finally you see that she gets shot in the chest by Cohen. She gets shot in the back. She gets shot from behind by Cohen, but she's bleeding from her chest. She falls to the ground. She sees that she's been killing all the hazmat team that finally shows up, and at the very end, the Paimon cult leader and his 2 main ladies kind of like come up to her, and I think it's implied that she is now damned.
Yeah.
And it's a real fucking bummer ending, you know?
It's a bummer of an ending.
It is a real
sure.
bummer of an ending, because like I said, she is a very likable character that
Yeah,
you
she's
actually
great.
want to
There's a
see
few,
come
like,
out.
loose-
Okay, here.
There's a few like loose ends too, I feel like, or red herrings that kind of happen throughout. Like I ever feel like I totally got closure on the homeless man, and then like the beginning when Sergeant Cohen is slamming and banging on the door when she first walks in. I never get to fully understand his.
I read the wiki and the IMDb, and I think it's implied, at least in Wikipedia, they're implying that Cohen murdered Price before Officer Lauren gets there. Because those crime scene photos that she sees before they all burn up near the end, when she's getting really deep into the hallucinations, are not, have never seen them as true crime scene photographs. I've seen them as like representations of the murders that the Paimon clan did. And I'm wondering if Cohen, I don't know if Cohen like thought that Officer Lauren could handle it because her dad had been part of this, or he set her up and Officer Price was there and he had to kill him to make sure that Officer Lauren was there so that she could be accosted by the spirits of the Paimon
That makes
family
sense to me.
and then damned. I'm wondering if Cohen was part of the cult.
Yeah, and
I like that it's open-ended though.
Yeah. I felt like there was something up with Cohen more than anything, but it doesn't totally for me, it didn't totally wrap up at the end, but I also didn't really care that much. I was like, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
Really had a lot of fun with it.
Determined to make the rest of summer the best of summer? LL Bean has clothing and gear designed to do it all. Like sun-washed apparel that feels broken in from the start, rainwear for every surprise rainstorm, hand-sewn boat shoes, and of course, the iconic boat and tote. Made right here in Maine to carry all your summer essentials since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
This summer, say I do
I am marrying a stranger.
like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock. With new experts,
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name's Paul Brunson.
more couples,
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
and more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, streaming July 12th, only on Peacock.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
Are you troubled by trying to find a great movie podcast to listen to?
Do you experience a love for monster movies from the classic Universal era to the modern creature features?
Have you or your family ever watched episodes of Elvira, Monster Vision, or Svengoolie?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Open up your podcatcher and search for the professionals. The Monster Rally Podcast.
Our hilarious and asinine hosts have an ever-growing library of episodes for you to listen to 24 hours a day to serve all your monster movie needs.
We'll talk about it.
The only question I have left to ask you after that perfect job is what would you watch as a double feature with this? Because there's a lot of great options. Honestly.
There are a lot of options. I've went through like 3 more in my head while you were going over the synopsis.
Well, my original was going to be another big bummer. And I thought, maybe I need to have a buddy cop, supernatural buddy cop movie that's more fun. And so I'm going to go with Dead Heat.
Holy shit. What a good pick.
Oh, I thought Kyle was going to be like, that was mine
No,
also.
I wish that was mine.
Yeah, Dead Heat's fun,
it could
man.
be yours.
That's really good.
I mean, as long as you don't go... I was originally going to go with Hereditary because of King Paimon, but that would be such a down night. I couldn't
That's a
handle
really
it.
rough night. Kyle, do you want to go before me, or do you want me to go first?
I'm going to go with... I'll go. I don't think you and I have the same one here. I thought about a couple... I'll give you the other ones at the end, but one... And actually, when you said Assault on Precinct 13, I remember distinctly thinking about that movie while watching this a couple times. I don't think it would necessarily be a good double feature, and I don't even know if this one would be a good double feature either, but I'm going with Jim Van Bieber's The Manson Family, which is probably the most, like, unhinged, independently made adaptation of the Manson murders that is... I wouldn't necessarily call it art house, but it is insane. So I feel like something that's like good and thought out, like Last Shift paired with something that took like 20 years to make, will be fun for everyone involved.
Sounds like a Kyle choice. Yes.
That's a Kyle choice for sure.
I really thought that this one was going to be taken by Scott, especially. But you know what? We're going to be talking a little peek behind the curtain. This is something we're going to be talking about later on this year. But this movie follows a lot of the same pacing, a lot of the same indie movie tricks as Autopsy of Jane Doe. I think that those two movies share a lot of similar DNA in all of the best ways.
I bet the listeners can guess who picked that one that's happening later on this year as well.
Me. Yep, me.
That's good. I also thought about Bug, which also would be a downer, but I love
super downer. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, no, but it's one of my favorites, and that sort of like in a singular room descent into madness thing, like really gets me going.
My backup when Scott was talking about how you could do this as like a single act play or whatever, I jumped to Pontypool as another like potential.
I know you love
double
Pontypool.
feature. I love Pontypool.
That'd be a good one too.
But you know what I love even more is if the listeners send us their listener submitted options at hmmpodcast@gmail.com. Get that to us before the end of July, because in August we're making our picks for September. So hurry up. Hit us up on our social medias, HMM Podcast and everything. Support the show by going to patreon.com/HMM Podcast, and check out our merch at hmmpodcast.dashery.com. Scott, what is something you watched, listened to, read, etc. that you want to talk about?
All right. So Hacks Season 5 is, well, it's over by the time this comes out, but we've watched all but the last episode, and it's just so good. Have you guys watched any of that show?
I've never watched any of Hacks, and I keep being told it's so perfect for me.
Man, I think you'd love it. It's funny. It's Ava, the young comedy writer that's working for the older comedian. That's the whole point of the show. She has this. There's a whole episode about AI and like LLMs and kind of this idea of like tech bros being like, well, if you don't, get with the times, you're going to be left behind. And then they're like, what makes art is the human element. Like you can take the lifetime, like you can take the entire internet's worth of, you can scrape the internet for all the jokes in the world, and it's not, or all the music in the world, and it's going to be fucking soulless. And also the point of like, and when people are like, well, it's a barrier to, it breaks barriers to entry. I feel like people don't understand the fact that the whole point of making art is making art. The whole point of art is making it.
Well, that's like, did you see the Seth Rogen thing about that?
Yes.
Where he's like, I like writing. Why would I have something else do writing for me? Like, it's a thing I like to do.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
So
right.
Awesome show, awesome sentiments, and I would recommend that you guys both, I think you guys will both really like it, but Matt, it's really, really your type of humor, I think.
I've heard that from quite a few people. And this was the last season, right?
Yes, so you could just binge all 5 seasons when you're ready. I know that you like doing
into
that.
the whole thing at that point, yeah.
I got into a show. It was a true crime show, I started with, oh God, hold on. What's the first one? So I guess it's 2. So I Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, which was a Netflix true crime docuseries about the FLDS church, particularly about Warren Jeffs and his rise and downfall, and about the child sex trafficking ring that the fundamentalist Church of Latter-day Saints is and was involved in. That was in 2022 was when that series came out, and just recently they released The False Prophet, which is kind of a spiritual follow-up to this moment, because from prison, Warren Jeffs continued to conduct and lead the FLDS church. However, he demanded his followers to stop marrying, stop producing kids, and to just like halt, which was alternatively like what he had preached to do, continue to take wives, particularly underage wives, and continue to produce, right? Now, people listened to that until they didn't, and this other series is about a documentary crew, this woman named Christine and her partner and camera person named Talus. I forget his name off the top of my head now, but Christine and her partner go into the community in Short Creek where a lot of these FLDS families live and or were abandoned by their leader, right? Okay. And she finds a man and starts documenting a man who has been taking wives and who has been producing. And his name is Sam. And this alternate sect is called the Samuelites. And she positions herself within their community as a documentarian to document his proselytization. Yes, that. And he basically, it's like if the Jinx was in the FLDS church. He basically exposes himself, but then you have this time spent with the people who have now placed themselves in a place of power and trust in the community and are now also trying to bring their crimes to light, but they just have to sit and wait it out. So there's a portion of this documentary series, it's 4 episodes, where they're sitting and waiting for something to happen, and they're watching this family and this religion and this cult around them continue to live and survive and thrive. It's really fascinating. It's really kind of scary. You start to wonder a little bit about the documentarians. You're never really fully on board with any. Well, you're certainly not on board with the Samuelites, but you're also kind of questioning the documentarians' intentions a little bit at the time, and it gets revealed at the end, sort of where we're standing. But they have to. I think that they pair really well together, and Netflix has paired them too as a thing to watch. But I think watching one and then the other, if you are into that sort of religious cult type thing, which goes well a little bit with what we're talking about here on Last Shift, it's an interesting documentary, though there is a lot of recounting and graphic recounting of the abuse that happened there. So that's one thing to sort of warn you about. But if you're getting into it, you probably fucking knew that already. So.
And I'm going to close this out with the fact that at the time that we're recording this, Sam Raimi's newest film, Send Help, is now on Disney+. So I gave that a watch. Now, I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, which I think is fair. It is not... I know a lot of people refer to it as a return to horror for him. I definitely don't think it's a horror movie. But there are horrific moments in it for sure. The very simple pitch of it is that Rachel McAdams, get this, guys, Rachel McAdams plays the ugly girl that no one likes at work. Which
yes, that tracks.
Which is a real stretch. But they do a good job of giving her greasy hair. She's got some facial blemishes, and she's just weird as shit. But she has been promised that for her hard work at this office, she's going to become the VP when the current president steps down. He's going to put his son in charge, and that she'll be the VP. And then when that inevitably happens, the son is just fuck that girl. She's weird. I'm going to bring my buddy from my frat in to be the VP instead, and we'll find her a nice remote job where she won't bother us anymore. But the head of the company's like one of the people in charge of the company's she knows too much. You have to go to this meeting in Bangkok. You have to bring her, whether you like it or not. And they have turbulence, and the plane has a horrific crash scene where people are at one point a dude is flung out the plane, but his tie gets stuck to part of the plane, and then you're just watching as his face smashes repeatedly against the window of the plane, and his face is goring up more and more with each hit. It's definitely there. You see bits and pieces of all of your favorite Sam Raimi moments. It's got a little bit of Darkman. It's got a little bit of camera work from Evil Dead. I would say it's actually very simple plan coded.
Mm-hmm. But I love that band.
What we find out is that
I'm just a kid, and
of all the things that they pick on this girl about, one of them is that they find her Survivor audition tape and mock her for that. So when they land on the island, it's just her and the shitty boss. Mm-hmm. And he's got a leg injury, but she's able to take care of them because she's been training for Survivor her whole life.
That's fucking funny.
But then it
That's
turns
better
in
than like the You're Next, where she just like ends up being like, I was in a survivalist game.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's they do a really good job of like laying those breadcrumbs. Whoa, you gotta
get that shit checked out, bro.
But it does turn into this fun fucked up cat and mouse game of like this power struggle of like, she's clearly got the upper hand. She knows how to survive. This dude's like a Nepo baby to the nth degree, but in his mind, he's the superior. He should be the one that's like saving them, and you get into some wild shit. It could stand to be like 25 minutes shorter. Honestly, it's close to 2 hours long. But I didn't hate it. It was nice to see Sam Raimi do like a gory R-rated movie, even if it wasn't necessarily a horror film. It was like, all right, I'm glad that you're dipping your toe back into like what people like you most for, which is like unrelentingly gross moments mixed with humor. Like when he finds that balance, that's kind of what like the biggest strike is against all of the more recent Evil Dead movies, right? Is that they forget that there should be a sense of humor to everything and just go for like, which works great in the 2013 remake, but doesn't work so much for me in Evil Dead Rise, where I'm this is just too much of a bummer from start to finish. But you know what is never a bummer from start to finish, guys? Horror Movie Night. So make sure that you slam that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting app so you never miss a new episode, and we'll be back next week with more Horror Movie Night.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass the Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come baby, come baby, baby, come, come. Come baby, come baby, baby, come.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.